Hello, good day to you. Today, this video is about iproute2, or especially the IP utility. So the iproute2 actually is a set of utilities for managing networks in Linux operating systems. So it consists of tools like IP, SS, that is socket statistics, TC, that is traffic control, the app daemon, and many other utilities. So the iproute2 or set of utilities, or the aim is to replace some of the commands that we know that we are used to before. Things like ifconfig, let's start, app root, brctl. So iproute2 is trying to replace all of these. So most of all these utilities actually they require their own set of explanation and video. I made a video about socket statistics. You can check out my channel to learn more about that. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on IP utility or the IP utility. So let's go to the command line actually. On this system, I am on Ubuntu 16.10. I'm on Ubuntu 16.10, and so if we run the IP command with help option, you see it gave us help about how to use this command: usage, IP, or options, object, command. So you see, there are some options that you can use with this object, and these objects are things like link, address, address label, route, and so on. So the first one that I'll be talking about is the IP link actually. So let's talk about IP link. So ordinarily, if you run IP link on your system, you'll get a list of interfaces that are available in your system. So on my system, I actually have about 6. So not all of these interfaces are physical interfaces. Some of them are virtual, some of them are software based. So you have to be familiar. I mean, you have to be aware of that. So, and if you want to look at the details about a particular interface, you can do IP link show. For example, this is my loopback interface, so I did IP link show. If we want to get more details, we can use the -D for details. You see, I get a little bit more details about my loopback interface. But this is not the only thing you can do with IP link. So you see, if I run IP link and I press my tab key, I see some other commands. So that is also one thing. You can use the tab key with some of these commands. So if I do IP link set is actually one of the most important ones you will use. You can set some properties about your interface. For example, my loopback interface, if I press tab again, so these are like the things I can set. I can set address, I can set broadcast, a lot of things. MTU, I can set the name to be something else. So one thing you can do, you can bring your interface down. So I can set it to be down. So if I do down and I run my IP link show again, you see my state is down. So I can bring it back up again. So if I do my show again, my state is unknown, but that means hop. So basically, I can set my MTU actually. I can set my MTU to be something like 70,000, and if I do run my show again, see my MTU now is 70,000. So you can do a lot of things about your interface. Let me set my MTU back to the original value. So you can do a lot of things, from this set alone. But one other thing you can actually do is add, if you want to add a new interface, or for example, let's say I want to add an interface and I call it test 0. So one thing it expects from me is type. And before I do my add, you can use help. If you are not sure what to do, you can get help. So hyperlink help on add. So you see it says hyperlink add, some properties, the name, then the type. So the two compulsory ones are like the type and the name of the particular link, the interface you want to add, and the types are like are here. So you see the type, it can be VLAN, it can be VitPair, it can be bound, it can be a lot of things. So depending on what you want. So for example, let me add one. So I do hyperlink add, or let me call it test 0. Then the type, let me say the type is VLAN. So it's going to, if it's VLAN, then I have to specify basically the VLAN ID. So but let me, for the sake, okay, I think I have to do ID. Okay, but let me just add a dummy type actually. But what I'm trying to show you is that you can add different types. Let me just add a dummy type, for the sake of the demonstration. So you see, the type is dummy type. So if I run hyperlink again, and show my test 0, so you see I have an interface, and I can bring my interface up. I can do hyperlink set, because right now it's down. Hyperlink set up, so I brought the interface up. So that is about hyperlink. I hope you were able to follow me. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section. So the next and very important one, maybe this might be the most important one, IP address. So you can show IP address. And one thing about all this command, you can abbreviate the object name. So for example, I can run IPA. So you see, I have all my interfaces, also along with the IP addresses. So for example, let me focus on one of the interface. I can do IPA, that is address, then show. I'm showing, one of my interface. So you see, I'm showing one of my interface. It gave me all the things about my interface. I can use the -D to get maybe more details. So you see details like promiscuity. Promiscuity is 0. So if you're not familiar with what promiscuity means, that is, if you want to do packet capture, your interface has to be promiscuous. But now it's 0. So you see. So but if I want to see, let's say on my interface, I just want to see the IP address of IPv4. You see, IPv4, it shows me only IPv4 address of my interface. I can specify IPv6, it show me only IPv6. So it is very important. So actually, before I move on, also let me show you, you can also use -S, actually, S for statistics. So you see the statistics are like the received byte, the transmitted byte, the number of packets, the error. So if you are troubleshooting your interfaces and you want to see what's going on, you can look at transmitted and received bytes, the packets, and the errors. So that is that. So that about IP address. I think IP link and IP address are like one of the most important ones. So the other one that I would like to show is IP route. IP route is allows you to get information about your routing on your system, or the routes or the routes depending on your pronunciation. So you see these are the routes that I have on my system. I can do something like I can do IP route get. So for example, let me say IP route get or 8.8.8. So this is going to tell me, what is the route to getting this particular IP. So it told me the route to get this IP is actually via my default gateway. So which makes sense. So and it told me it's in cache. Um, let me try. Let me try maybe a where or name. Let's say www.bbc.com. Oh, okay. So yeah, I have to use an address. So I cannot use a name. So let me try to get the address of this guy. So this is the address, and let me get let me get the route for there. So again, it told me it's via my default gateway. So that is that there's no surprises there, because if your system does not understand any particular route, it goes to the default gateway. So one thing you can actually do with the IP route is you can add a new route. So by pressing the tab key, I did this. Then I can do add. I can add. Let's say I have a route to 20.20 or 20.0.0.0/8. This is for demonstration only. I can say var. I have it var .10 10.0.0.10. So you see, I added my route, but this route you have to be. This route is not persistent. If I reboot my system or restart my network, I'm going to lose this route. So you have to be cognizant of that fact. So this is how to add a route. So if I run my IP route again, you see now I have this route here. So I can delete this route actually. So if you want to delete a route, or if I run my IP route again, that route is gone. So I deleted the route. So that is how to add a route uh, to your system. So let's go ahead. So another one that I will show you is IP tunnel. So if you're interested in creating IP tunnels, or maybe GRE tunnel, or whatever tunnel, this is how to create a tunnel. So an example is actually this. So I can add, or an example is this. So IP tunnel. I want to add a tunnel, and the mode of my tunnel. You have to give the mode thing. Let's say my mode is GRE, and my local. The local means like the local address. Let's say 19.18.17.1, and the name of my tunnel. Let's say let me just call it TN0. So you see, I added a tunnel of GRE. So I can add another tunnel and specify the remote. The remote is the other end of my tunnel. So if you are familiar with maybe GRE tunnel, so all these are examples, but I hope you get the gist. So basically, adding a tunnel, the mode is GRE. The remote, that is the remote end, the local end, and the name of the tunnel. So if I do IP link now, you see I actually have tunnel interfaces created. That is TNO1 and TNO and TNO1. sorry, TN0 and TN1. So that is that about creating tunnel. So another one that I will show you is IP neighbor. So IP neighbor is for, it's similar to, if you are used to running app dash a before. So IP neighbor is similar to running dash a. So basically IP neighbor shows like what is in my, that's my MAC address table, or my layer 2 uh, address, that I know. That is the IP address to MAC address or resolution. So you see, these are like the ones that I know. So some are reachable, some are still, some is in the probe mode. So reachable, you see, even IPv6. So this is IPv6 address to the MAC address or resolution. So it's reachable. So if you are used to using app, now the new way to check your app table or app cache is by using the IP neighbor, and the IP neighbor, or like I said, you can shorten the some of these object names. So you don't need to know how to write everything. I mean, it's good to know how to write everything, but you can shorten the name definitely. So another one is TCP metrics. So basically, TCP metrics. If you want to know TCP metrics of your of your connections, so you see, this is a lot of information. But let's say I just want the TCP metric of, or let me clear and TCP metric of 8.8.8. So we see TCP metric, like the age of of that metric, the congestion or window, the round trip time or round trip time per, and the source. So these are like some TCP or metrics, about this particular connection. So the rest, things like the layer 2. So the other one is like layer 2 over IP protocol, or address label, IP monitor. You can monitor, for example, you can do IP monitor. So this listen for the so for whatever changes that happen on your system is reported, on your uh, on the output. So that is for IP monitor. So the next here that I have here is multicast address. So multicast, if you want to get the multicast address of your interfaces, you can use IPM address. You see, so these are like the multicast address of my interfaces. Let me do it for only my loopback interface. So these are like multicast address of my loopback. So we have things like the multicast routes, the multicast rule. So similar to how you have IP address, IP route, IP rule. So you have equivalent for multicast. Another interesting one is the turn tap. So the turn and tap interface. So if you have worked in a virtualization environment, or maybe you'll have come across the turn and tap interface. So the turn, they are actually like two two kind of interface. One, the turn, deals with the network layers. The tap, deals with layer 2, with frames. So if you have worked with in a virtualization layer, you come across this a lot. IPXFRM, This is for IPsec policies or IPN table, for also do some neighbor cache operation. So let's actually see what that does. So you see, this are like some of the things about your neighbors basically. So netconf is network configuration monitoring. So let's run that. So basically, let's let's see. I don't know if we can. Oh, okay. This does not take that. But basically, it monitors things like forwarding. So for example, for my loopback, forwarding is off. RP filter off. MC forwarding. I think this is multicast forwarding off. Proxy neighbor off. So basically, it monitors some properties of your interfaces. So I think the other last two, they are not very common. IP token, IP or full over UDP. So basically, I'm showing you this even though they are not common. You might want to research them and get maybe to know them more. I think I've covered. I think one that I left out is IP rule. IP rule is for policy routing. So if you want to do policy routing on your system, or IP rule is your go-to. So if you want to do some routing, that is beyond what you can do with the IP route, you can look to the IP rule, for that. So yeah. So not to make this video to be too long. So basically, I think that's all I want to show. So the most common ones are IP link, IP address, IP routes. So I think those are the ones you will come across from day to day. And I think IP neighbor. So if you're working in an environment where you need to create a tunnel, or you can check out IP tunnel, and also maybe TCP metrics, and yeah. So that's those are the common ones I think you are going to come into contact with from day to day. And I hope you are able to get one or two information from this video. If you have any addition or any correction or comments or questions, you can put it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.